Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday night.
Happy
It's Thursday, right?
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It's the day after The Mandalorian returned, and maybe we can watch it again tonight because it was just so good.
Yes. I'm just going to put this out here right at the top. I want to talk about Mandalorian tonight. I'm sure
No
you guys want to talk about
spoilers.
Mandalorian. This is a spoiler-free zone.
We're gonna say Baby Yoda is cute, but that is not a spoiler. We all know this.
We all know that. Hello, thank you all for joining us. I hope you're all excited to hear more about the fun Star Wars things that are going on. My name is Danny. I am the creative director for WDW Magazine.
And I'm Steph. I'm the CEO of WDW Magazine, and we're in a little bit of a sort of the same and sort of a different location tonight. Sometimes we're a little bit more over on that side of our office, and you can see more of the Mickeys and the posters and everything. That's my side of the office. We're on Danny's side of the office where all the design magic happens. So you can see that's how we do some issue planning. On the whiteboard, on the big sticky notes on the back of the door.
That's how we figure out the order. We lay out the articles in the magazine, and then we go, okay, this one is 4 pages long, and this one is 6 pages long, and I think we should start with this article. And that's how the final steps of the process come together.
Yeah.
A little peek behind the curtain.
You might not be able to tell, but like in addition to all my fabulous Star Wars accessories here, we're actually wearing Star Wars shirts too. I would turn around, but the spacing is tight here. Danny's got a little Rebel.
Of course,
Rebel
always
logo.
support the Rebels.
This is actually a Grogu shirt. Also, both from Cakeworthy. We love Cakeworthy. This is not an ad for them, but we love them. We love their stuff. They're really great people. A lot of our team wears their stuff. So you guys are always asking us where we get our outfits from. I would suggest cakeworthy.com. Or if you're in Southern Ontario, they have a brick and mortar store at Lime Ridge Mall.
That's true. Edward, Patty, Deborah, Stephen, thank you all so much for tuning in and saying hello. Everybody else who's joining, thank you for spending some time with us this Thursday evening. We're going to be giving you a first look at our upcoming Galaxy's Edge attraction special. I'm so excited about this. You guys know that over the years, we've done these deep dive attraction specific specials. We started with our Haunted Mansion attraction special. We followed it up with Pirates of the Caribbean. And this year, we're super excited to be bringing you guys, sharing our Star Wars love with this Galaxy's Edge attraction special.
We thought this was a really great time, not only because we're huge Star Wars fans, but last year it was one of the requested topics when we did Pirates of the Caribbean last year. We sent out a survey to everyone who bought it during the pre-order and said, what do you want to see next year? And there were lots of great suggestions. Some had more votes than others, things like Small World, Tower of Terror, Jungle Cruise. So those might be coming in a future attraction special.
Yeah.
But Galaxy's Edge was way up there in terms of votes. We also thought, hey, the Halcyons just opened, Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. That's really exciting. There's cool stuff happening both at Batuu East and Batuu West in California and Florida. And with our Disneyland magazine that just launched in November, Bridie's actually on the back end of this, and maybe she'll put in a link to our Disneyland magazine, DLR magazine, for you. But with this launching last November, we were like, it would be great to celebrate something. Of course, Pirates is in both places. Mansions in both places. But this is kind of a love letter to Star Wars, but also both parks.
Both coasts. What I love so much about Galaxy's Edge is that it changes. It's a living, breathing place. And, you know, no perfect better example is what happened yesterday for anyone who was paying attention online on social media. So the big news yesterday, March 1st, was it was season 3, the return of Mandalorian. We're all very excited. Like I said at the top, no spoilers, please. But we're all very glad that Mandalorian is back in our lives. And unannounced, unknown to us, all of a sudden Disney decided that Hollywood Studios, Galaxy's Edge East Coast, was going to premiere the walk-around characters of The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is super exciting. I'm going to share some photos we were very fortunate. One of our photographers, CJ, you might know him on Instagram, Main Street Lightroom. He happened to be in the parks, and I get on the phone and CJ, you got to get to Hollywood Studios. Mando's here. It's very exciting.
And he did.
And he did. So I wanted to share. The costume is just spectacular. These are chance encounters. This is not on the schedule. It doesn't happen at a set time.
So let me tell you, the last few times we've been in California, we have spent a lot of time drinking black calf iced coffees in Galaxy's Edge, just sitting around waiting for the little baby to come out, and we've missed him every time. One of our writers, Brooke McDonald, she was actually there with us last time, and we were both kind of looking out for Baby Yoda together, Grogu together, and we ended up getting hungry and going to Lunar New Year, and then he finally came out a couple hours later, but we were over in DCA, so we didn't get back in time. But oh, look how cute he is.
It's so great. I love this, like, it's perfectly screen accurate. This costume, the Grogu animatronic or puppet, or I don't know what we call him, but he's so lifelike. He's so expressive. The performers,
just like the show.
It's so incredible. Anyways, these photos are great. I really wanted to share them. I was so excited to see this news. Like Steph said, on the West Coast in Disneyland, we've been trying unsuccessfully to meet the Mandalorian, but we do tend to travel to Disney World more often. So fingers crossed.
We're going to be there in 2 weeks.
We are going to be there in a couple of weeks.
We'll tell you about that after.
Yeah.
Something to note, this is not a normal character encounter. You cannot touch or hug Grogu or the Mandalorian. You have to keep like a safe distance from them.
Yes. Yes. But it's really cool. It's really immersive. They do talk and interact. You can sort of pose for selfies and take your own photos, but it's not like a traditional character meet and greet.
Before we dive into talking more about the Star Wars issue, I already see some questions and comments.
Yeah.
One is that Billie Jane just received my March issue today.
That is very exciting.
You might have seen I popped on here a couple days ago to talk about our March issue. So if you're a print subscriber, this is in the mail on the way to you. Maybe it's already arrived. If you're a digital subscriber, it's live for you now. If you're not a subscriber, if you become one, if you're a digital subscriber, you'll get access to this right away. If you're not a digital subscriber, you'll start with our next issue, but you could add this to your cart in checkout. This is a really special issue to me because it's called The Women Behind the Magic, and in honor of Women's History Month, we decided to do an entire issue celebrating female Imagineers, women in Disney history like Lillian Disney, Harriet Burns, contemporary Imagineers like Sachi Hankey. We talk a lot about the Disney princesses and other strong female Disney characters like Minnie Mouse and Mirabelle, and just so many cool things are in this issue, and we just wanted to do a nice little celebration as a woman-owned company who employs a lot of women, you know, who I'm such a big princess fan. It was just it's probably one of my favorite issues ever. Honestly.
It really came together nicely. We put a lot of heart into this issue, a lot of care. I mean, we put a lot of care and dedication into everything that we publish, but there are always certain topics that, you know, really resonate, really appeal. This is very special. As you all know, Splash Mountain is going to be rethemed to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Steph was very fortunate to be invited down to Disney, to Florida, to meet with some representatives from WDI, that's Imagineering, to talk about the process and the upcoming changes.
Yeah, so I talked, there were only maybe about 10 of us or so there, and we got to talk with Sharita Carter and Ted Robledo, who are leading the project, and they told us all about the research and the travel expeditions they've had to New Orleans to get everything just right in Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It was super, super interesting, and that's what that article is all about.
It's really great. Like we said, this is the March issue. If you're already a subscriber, it's in the mail on its way to you. If you're looking to start a subscription, we'll put the link down below this video. You can find all of this at shop.wdwpublishing.com.
Now, I also see Kara says she loves my pork. I love my pork too. He's one of many, many porgs in this house. We're a
Yes, we have a
porg-friendly house.
small porg infestation.
Stephen asks, "What is your favorite Star Wars ride?" I'm interested to hear your answer. Actually, can I say a fun fact? Your first Disney ride ever was at Disneyland Paris when we were backpacking after university, and it was Star Tours.
True story. It was the old version of Star Tours, and it was in French because Disneyland Paris. But you know, Star Wars is universal. It transcends language barriers. So Steph's right. That's true. So I never went to Disney as a child. My first trip was in my 20s. We were backpacking in Europe. It was Disneyland Paris. And my first attraction on my first trip was Star Tours. However, in answer to the question, my favorite Star Wars attraction is Rise of the Resistance. There is a moment in Rise when you're making your escape and you go into the room with the full-size AT-AT walkers. So jaw-dropping. Like, I literally remember the first time riding that ride and having my mouth like hang open because it was so real. Yeah.
I do think that Rise of the Resistance is an incredible feat. I do think it is the best Star Wars ride, but my favorite Star Wars ride is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I'm a very like competitive person, so I like all the games where you get to like Toy Story Mania, where you get to play and compete, and it's better certainly if you have a whole entire vehicle of people that are playing together. But even if it's just like me and Danny, I always like to best him.
Not just in Star Wars, Buzz Lightyear, Toy Story.
That's true. I love playing that, like we're flying the Falcon. It was also my very first big media event that I was able to attend for WW Magazine was the Galaxy's Edge opening, and I got to ride it a lot by myself. So I have like special memories there. Plus the Falcon. The Falcon is a character in and of herself.
That's a good point.
I love her.
So let's get down to the heart of tonight's live. Like we said, you guys know and love our past attraction specials, Haunted Mansion.
These are some of our best-selling issues ever. And I just want to remind you, or maybe if you're a new subscriber, these are not included in your WW Magazine subscription or your DLR Magazine subscription. So if you want the attraction specials, you do have to order them separately, but order them during our pre-order because you're not going to pay any shipping on them if you're in the US, and if you're Canada or international, you're only going to pay $5 shipping, which is way, way cheaper than the shipping we can offer later. And that's just because we get to do a big bulk shipment of all of our pre-orders, so we qualify for a different shipping rate. We're able to pass that on to you. When you order it one-off later on, that's what the post office charges us. So that's what we have to pass on to you. So get it early, but let's talk about fun Star Wars stuff.
The pre-order is still open now. There's still time to get that best ever price. But I wanted to take this time tonight to give everybody a peek inside the pages, a look at what is going to be coming in this Galaxy's Edge preview. So
we're not going to spoil everything, though.
No, we're not going to do the whole issue. We're not going to do everything in depth. But we want to show you some of the stuff that we have going on. We have this great look. This was a lot of fun to work on from a layout and design perspective. The characters of Galaxy's Edge. Like I said, one of the things that I love so much about this land is that it lives. There are stories. There are things happening. It's got a kinetic energy. You know, you can talk to these characters. You can interact with them. Things change in and around the park. So we want to make sure everybody is familiar with the major and the minor characters that you can see when you visit Galaxy's Edge. We've also helpfully color-coded these to let you know if you can see them in both parks or just at Disneyland or WDW. We also do a little bit of a East and Batuu West.
They're not actually called Batuu East and Batuu West. That's just kind of like what fans have adopted to refer to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, Batuu West, and Disney World, Batuu East. But there are some differences. Even though they're billed as identical lands, they really are not.
We take, of course, because we love talking about Imagineering and the ways that they craft and tell stories. We take an Imagineering deep dive into how this land, this planet, came to be.
And this one's written by Matthew Krull, who you probably know from Imagineer podcast, which has recently been renamed to Imagination Skyway. But he is our Imagineering guru go-to guy.
There's so much great stuff. We talk about the food. We talk about the music. Music plays such a big role, not only in the films, but also your experience in the land. Do you guys remember when Galaxy's Edge first opened, when the planet of Batuu first opened, they were trying really hard to get people to learn the local lingo?
Bright suns. That's how we should have opened tonight.
No,
or rising moons.
because it's the evening. We've got a handy translation guide. I love trying to stay in character when we visit Batuu, talking to the cast members, the citizens of the planet, trying to throw that lingo in here and there. It really, it makes the experience special. We're going to skip through a few pages. Like I said, meeting the Mandalorian is a big deal. We're super excited. This article is up to the minute. Like I say, we don't have to send the files to the printer quite yet, so we're trying to keep this as up to date as possible. We talk about the Bounty Hunter game, the market stall backstories. There's so much happening in this issue, all facets of visiting Batuu.
I actually really like this article, which is about what happens if you visit Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as part of your planetary excursion for when you're on Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. If you've been a subscriber for a while, you might remember that back in May, we did an all Imagineering issue, and we talked a lot about the Halcyon Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser in that one, but we specifically really skipped over or glossed over what the port excursion experience is like, because it's actually, I mean, it's not totally foreign and alien to you if you've been to Batuu before, but a different experience. You get some different things that you can play in your data pad. You might get a special message from Hondo when you're piloting the Falcon. There's a few cool things that happen. And Danny, this is your article, and you talk all about that. Yeah. Oh, I want to go back to the Halcyon.
I know, the Halcyon is calling us. We had the most amazing time. I injured myself shortly before our Halcyon trip. I had a problem with my ankle. And I was in an air cast, which was fun and interesting. And I made it part of my backstory, a daring escape from the First Order, which certainly won me some credibility with the folks on the Halcyon. But I'd really like to do the experience again. The storytelling, the level of Imagineering, it was so fantastic.
Honestly, we've been looking at dates. We have so much travel coming up, which we'll tell you about in a minute. We just have to find a time to go.
I hope you're all getting excited about this Galaxy's Edge attraction special. We wanted to focus on the land itself because in many ways, the land is an attraction. You want me to go back to the share?
Yeah. I just thought maybe we'd share one or two, one more story.
It's so fascinating. So many things happening. Oh, this is a very special page. Chewbacca mode. You guys may or may not know this, but there is a hidden Easter egg, a playable Easter egg in Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, where instead of having Hondo Ohnaka talking to you through the mission, if everybody works together, follows these handy illustrated steps we have laid out here, you can activate Chewbacca mode, and everybody's favorite Wookiee is going to accompany you on the mission. It's very cool. Illustrations by Kara Rose McBride. Kara is a friend of the magazine. She's done illustrations in the past 2 attraction issues, and they are always wonderful. Of course, we go back to Star Tours. Long before there was a Galaxy's Edge, Star Tours was how we integrated Star Wars into the park.
Yeah.
So we had to go back and talk about that history. We've got Wookiee Life Day and just so many more amazing things to talk about.
Let's go back to the cover.
Back to the cover.
It's just gorgeous.
Here we go.
Oh, love it.
Love it. This is a great photo. Cliff Wang, one of our longtime photographers with the magazine. You're all familiar with his work. You see it every month. Beautiful nighttime shot. This one is Galaxy's Edge in Florida, although you can get more or less the same vantage point in California.
Beth ordered 5 of these. Thank you so much, Beth.
That's incredible, Beth. We really appreciate the support. I hope everyone else is out there ordering. Take advantage of this pre-sale offer. This is the time when we can pass on the most savings to you
It's
guys.
only $9.99.
It's an incredible gift if you have anyone in your life who loves Star Wars. This issue is made by fans. It's made for fans. We go deep into the Star Wars, the lore, the backstories, the Imagineering details.
You have like nothing to lose by ordering it now, even if you're ordering it like for stocking stuffers.
That's true. It's going to keep. It's a magazine. It doesn't spoil. We're really proud of this attraction special. It's going to join our other attraction specials. I think it's a great addition to the mix.
Stephen asks, what do you like about Smuggler's Run? Many, many things, but I love the little attention to details. So again, the Falcon is, well, all of Galaxy's Edge actually takes place in the timeline of the newest trilogy, the one with Rey and Kylo Ren.
Roughly between episodes 8 and 9.
Yeah. So, there's little changes to the Falcon. Like she's a little bit more weathered than in some of the early movies. And, you know, porgs have infested her. There's not actually porg animatronics, unfortunately, but you do see little bits of like chewed wire and where they might have started to make a nest. There's also, as you're like walking through, I remember the very first time I was walking through, this was brand new. And I was like, man, these floorboards are clanking around. Why couldn't they fix this? It's brand new. What a hunk of junk. And then I was like, oh, it's the Falcon.
It's the Falcon. Those are the false floorboards that they use for smuggling because it's a smuggler ship.
I know, but it took me a minute. But it's like details like that where you get like really caught up in it. And for me, like, you know, there's nothing better than flying the Falcon.
Yes.
What do you like about the ride?
The things you're talking about, the level of detail. I love that staging area in the queue right before you actually go into the cockpit when you're just in like the main body of the Falcon. It's like being there. It's the
like when you're in the chess room.
Yeah, the chess room.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's exactly like being in the ship. And you know, if you were a kid, if you were ever like to set
it would
foot,
not surprise me if Harrison Ford walked in.
Sure, exactly. Like to set foot inside that space that used to be this make-believe realm that Disney has made real.
It's so
realistic.
So
incredible.
Arlene is asking, how do you order? Arlene, it's over at our shop. If you go to shop.wdwpublishing.com, we're actually going to put the link in for you right now. You can go over and get it. The pre-sale is on till next week, so don't wait, because once the pre-sale ends, you won't be able to get it on our pre-sale price. Well, the price won't change, but you'll have to pay for shipping, which is going to add, depending on your location, $12 to $15 in the US and more than that if you're international. I'm really sorry. That's what the post office charges us to send these. They're oversized, heavy, glossy magazines. They're in protective coverings. It's not like sending a letter where you can just get a forever stamp. That's a question that we get a lot. Why aren't you sending these with forever stamps? It's the post office just won't let us. So what we can do, free shipping right now, only $9.99.
if you are going to be purchasing anything from our shop, it's always worth your time to load up your cart, because if you're going to
Mhm.
pay the shipping price anyways,
Yeah.
we can bundle up magazines.
And we do offer generally free shipping on orders of over $150.
Yes.
So if you're ordering a whole bunch of back issues, that or a whole bunch of Christmas presents, Easter presents, graduation presents, just treat yourself presents, it could be a good time for you. Um, okay, so we've talked about that. Something that Tatiana wanted me to mention is, if you're not aware, we have the WDW magazine Facebook page, Instagram page, but we also have them for
YouTube.
YouTube, but we also TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, but
We're
we also
everywhere.
have DLR magazine, Instagram and Facebook pages. And it's not for a couple months, but on at the beginning of May is Star Wars Night, which is a special after-hours celebration that happens at Disneyland. And our reporter Kathleen is going to be attending that. So if you love Star Wars content, make sure that you're following along there, because she's going to bring you some really cool stuff. Oh, we didn't tell them about the bonuses.
Oh, so you probably picked up. We've been talking about how this attraction special is about Galaxy's Edge. It's about the land. But the land has these two incredible e-ticket rides. Now, we've already covered these in depth in WDW Magazine. More than once, actually. We've talked about Rise and Falcon. And we only have so many pages in these attraction specials. And so we wanted to make sure that we could tell the stories we wanted to tell.
Tell you all new things that we
New-
haven't featured in our issues before.
But we also know that not everybody has a subscription to WDW Magazine, and people love these two attractions and they want to know more about them. So, as a free bonus included with all of your purchases, we're sending you digital access. We've put together a special digital edition that collects articles from past issues of WDW Magazine where we cover Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon.
Smuggler's Run. They're actually from issues that are no longer in print. So the only way you could access them now is if you had a digital subscription, unless you already have the issue in your collection, which I know a lot of you do. But we wanted to make sure that those in-depth articles could get in everybody's hand, and that we weren't repeating them by just telling you things that we have already shared in the past.
That's a free bonus. It's included
Yeah.
with your purchase, whether you buy it now during the pre-sale, when it goes regular on sale, everybody's getting that access.
Something else we're doing right now is we have a beautiful set of 6 different wallpapers that you can use for your devices, for your desktop, your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone, and Zoom background. So if you want to have a meeting, look like you're in the cockpit of the Falcon, or you're in front of a bunch of stormtroopers, or you're just out enjoying a lovely afternoon in Batuu, that is
We've got you
all
covered.
set up. And as soon as you make your purchase, we're going to email you the link to download all of those.
Yes. Just some little digital bonuses.
Mhm.
We know this is a pre-order product and you might be putting in your order today, but you're not going to get the magazine in your hands quite yet. So a few little digital extras and bonuses to help tide you over until the issue arrives.
For a little transparency on that, why we do the pre-orders is so that we can assess how many is this going to be, so we know how many to order to fulfill those pre-orders, and so that we know how many to order to keep selling for a little while. It also allows us to have the opportunity to do a bulk shipment to all of our pre-order patrons, and that allows us to do the free shipping option. We are actually finishing up edits this week, basically, and then next week this goes to the printer, and it's going to ship out right at the very end of March. That last week of March, first week of April space is when it's going to be there, so it will arrive to you in April.
Yes.
Fresh and hot off the presses.
Putting together a print magazine is a labor of love, and it takes time. Everything from securing the paper to securing our time on the printing press. We've talked about this before, but we're deep into magazine content planning for 2024.
Yep.
I've been putting the finishing touches on the April issue of the magazine, which is going to be all about Animal Kingdom. Very exciting.
You've started in on
Work
our
is
Disneyland
happening.
summer issue.
Yeah, work is happening on Disneyland DLR Magazine issue 3. Work is happening on WDW Magazine for May.
Let's talk about subscriptions for a minute. So if you are not a subscriber and you want to be, if you subscribe starting today with DLR Magazine, you're going to start with our summer issue, which will deliver in sometime in May. And if you subscribe starting today to our WW Magazine, you'll start with April, which is our Animal Kingdom 25th anniversary celebration issue.
That one's really special. All the issues are special, but that Animal Kingdom one has a place in my heart. You guys might remember for Epcot's 40th recently, we did a whole Epcot focused issue. If you enjoyed that level of care and detail that we gave to Epcot.
We did the Magic Kingdom issue the year before for the big Magic Kingdom 50th.
Yeah. The Animal Kingdom issue is really special.
It is.
Yes.
And yes, I see in our comments, let us know what you would love to see in future issues. I would love to know that. This is a great time to tell us because our editors, Tim and Gina and I are all working on, as well as a bunch of other people on our team, but we're currently working on our 2024 plans for WW Magazine and DLR Magazine. So if you want to see something special, there's no better way than to let us know so we can plan that, because
we listen to your feedback. We really do.
That's how we got to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as our next attraction special. So,
speaking of things coming up in the future, we do have a bit more news to share. In just 2 weeks' time, Steph and I are going to be heading down to WDW in Florida for a special event.
We are going to the media light cycle run. I have to train myself to say light cycle run because in Shanghai it's light cycle power run, and that's where we originally rode this ride. So for me, that's the default. So we're going to the press opening of Tron, and
some of you might have had the chance already. They've been doing cast member previews, annual pass holder previews are starting soon. Steph and I were fortunate. We've been to Shanghai Disney in the past, and we've ridden the ride back in 2018 and 2019.
So we're going down for that, and there's a few other interviews and things we'll be doing down there that are going to make their way into some future 2023 issues of WDW Magazine. Make sure you're following along here on Facebook, but over also on our YouTube and on our Instagram channel for @WDW Magazine, because that's where we're going to be sharing kind of like our day by day what's going on while we're at that event. The week after that, we're heading to Philadelphia because we are seeing the Disney 100 exhibit that is at the Franklin Institute.
I'm very excited about this. Back at D23 this past September, I was in one of the panel discussions where we got to talk with some of the Imagineers and people behind this exhibit. It's obviously Disney is celebrating their 100th year, and they went back to the archives and dug out some really incredible artifacts and put together this amazing looking, will eventually be a traveling show. It's starting in Philadelphia.
They haven't announced all of the locations
It
yet.
will be traveling around through North America. There's also going to be a European tour, I've been told.
Yeah, it's starting in Munich in the fall.
But Steph and I will be there in Philly later in March. We can't wait. We're going to be covering it, bringing it to you in the magazine.
And then later this spring, early summer in May, we are heading to Aulani for the first time. Not very excited. I don't know what that was about. He's
that
just
was
tired.
my that was my
that
mellow,
was like your like mellow
that was my like island time, relaxing.
Okay. Well, it's a personal vacation. We're heading to Aulani. We've never been there before. And even though it's a personal vacation, we'll be reporting back to you guys. Don't tell Danny, he wants a real vacation. And we're really excited to share that. So if you have questions about Tron, if you have questions about Roundup Rodeo, which is coming soon to DHS, because that's part of our media event as well. If you have questions about the Disney 100 event or Aulani or anything else, but those 4 things, put them in the comments because we'll do our best to find out what we can for you. I do see Mike says, oh, could you cover the best jogging trails within Disney resorts, please? I love Hourglass Lake at Pop Century. I love that one too. I'm not much of a runner, but I am a iced coffee and walker, and it's a really nice place to do that, Mike. Yeah, we can definitely consider doing that in the future. Back when we were a digital only magazine, we actually did an entire issue dedicated to fitness. So we talked about golfing, we talked about surf school at Typhoon Lagoon when they were doing
Yeah,
that,
some
the
of these things
running
don't exist
trails,
anymore, but
tennis courts, all sorts of fun stuff,
yeah.
eating healthily. But if you have a digital subscription, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but you can use the index to find those topics if you want to, and the cover if you have a digital subscription and you're scrolling through your bookshelf there. It has a Donald with like a Donald statue from the All-Star Sports Resort with a racket, tennis racket in his hands on the cover.
Good memory.
Yeah, I think I remember all of our covers actually. It was probably like issue 17, issue 20, somewhere in there. We'll see how good my memory is.
Uh, Excited about for the 100th celebration?
Well, we were just in Disneyland for the kickoff of the 100th celebration, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah. The new nighttime shows that they debuted at Disneyland, Wondrous Journey, that's the fireworks show, and World of Color 1,
Yeah.
that's the fountain show at California Adventure, are both spectacular.
We're covering World of Color 1 in our summer issue of DLR magazine and Wondrous Journeys in our fall issue of DLR magazine. So stay tuned for those. We also got to do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway there. So many fun things. I love the color palette. The color palette is really cool. So all of the ears and spirit jerseys and everything coming out are really exciting. And our editor, Gina, was in the park today, and she was actually texting me photos of treats that she was covering for the magazine, like the cute little caramel apples that are all sparkly silver and purple. So, I mean, there's so much happening. And I don't think that we've even heard the full extent of what is going to be offered for the 100th anniversary.
These anniversary celebrations tend to go on for a long time, probably even longer than the year that would be the 100th anniversary year. We'll see. No official end date has been announced, but there's always fun, exciting stuff.
Patty has 2 comments. One is she's excited to hear what we think about Tron Florida versus Tron Shanghai. I'm excited too. I watched a ride through video where they actually had both tracks side by side, and it looks very much the same. But you know, there could be some differences. Who knows? The queue could be different. I'll be able to understand it because the queue in Shanghai was in Mandarin. So I just had to infer from context what was going on. So I will be definitely happy to report back on that, Patty. And she also asked if we're going to be doing the Hawaiian roller coaster ride of surfing.
We sure are.
We actually just booked our surfing instructor today.
Yes, I've never surfed before, but I'm definitely going to try in Hawaii. I'm not sure how well it's going to go, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Yeah. Oh, Eric's looking forward to visiting Disneyland in a few months. That's awesome. I'm not sure if it's your first time or not, Eric, but either way, enjoy. Disneyland is like my first love because that's where I grew up on the West Coast, going to Disneyland all the time before I fell in love with Disney World. But you're going to have a fantastic time.
Yeah, we love Disneyland. So that...
What is a good area to take my 4-year-old at Hollywood Studios, asks Edward. That's a great question. Obviously, the first obvious thing that comes to me is Toy Story Land. 4-year-old will probably be too short for Slinky Dog, but maybe not, depending on the height. But Midway Mania and Swirling Saucers, the cute little foods there, the little Baby Bell chairs you can hang out in, and just like being there, meeting the characters, Jessie, Buzz, Bo Peep, Woody, they're always out and about. The drum corps, the Green Army Men drum corps come through. That's really cool.
Always good fun stuff in Toy Story Land. Is Racing Academy still open?
Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy is down by on Hollywood or Sunset Boulevard by the Tower of Terror. That's a really cute show.
Yeah, if your little one is at all interested in the Cars movies and those characters, they will have a blast at Racing Academy.
If your little one's into Frozen, like some of us are, there's also the For the First Time in Forever sing-along. We actually talk all about that in the March issue of our WW magazine. And Edward, I know you're a subscriber, so I hope you enjoy that one.
Yes. Yeah.
If you guys have any more questions, please, even if you're watching on replay, leave them in the comments. We will get those and we will answer them ASAP. Just a reminder, This is only on pre-order until next week. It's only $9.99. It's not included in your subscriptions. Free shipping is included in the USA, and it's $5 to everywhere else. That is the cheapest we're ever going to offer this special issue. So if you want to get it and add it to your collection, or give it to a Star Wars lover in your life, please support us over at www.publishing.com or shop.www.publishing.com.
Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I'm really, really proud to give you this peek into our attraction special for Galaxy's Edge. Like Steph said, the pre-order is going to be the best price you're ever going to get. This is an issue that we've all put a lot of heart and effort into. We love Star Wars. We know you love Star Wars. We want you to have this and enjoy it. It's going to be great. Shop.www.publishing.com. We've got links in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to sign off for now, but we'll see you real soon, and may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.